Good afternoon. Welcome to panel 4 of the Congress. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Esteban Galán from Universitat Jaume I de Castelló. He's going to tell us, and when I say us, I mean everybody here, some new aspects of what transmedia and communication through another format. This is a big TV station.
Yeah.
This is what I understood, at least.
Yeah.
So please tell us something.
Thank you for your presentation. I don't know how to speak sitting down in the chair, so I try to not move too much, but I'm going to try to do my best in order to present. And well, we are going to speak about a real experience of collaboration between university and industrial sector, audiovisual sector, in order to manage a disaster that we have lived in Valencia region. Valencia is a region on the east of Spain, is 5 million inhabitants, and in 2013 the public television shut down. Well, and right now we have not a public television service. It's a disaster because Valencia is a region with a language. It's Valencian, Catalan, the language, a culture, a history, and well, we don't have now a communicative space to know ourselves. So we are working together with the sector, the audiovisual sector, and to start with, I would like to context that situation. You recognize that? Mm-hmm. 2 months ago, Barcelona. Well, this is virtual reality, okay? But this is audiovisual as well. Audiovisual in our time. And this one, this is 60 years ago. This is the family all around TV. Actually, this works as well. It's not the majority of the consumer of television, but it's both things are still colliding in our time. So to explain that, I decided to choose 4 dates, and to start with 1992. In Spain, it was a special year, as you know. I don't know if you remember 1992. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Do you know that guy?
No.
Kobe is the Olympics image. And that one? Curro. It's Universal Exposition in Seville. And it was interesting because it was a try from Spain to go out to project an image to the world. Okay, but the problem was, the goal was achieved, I think, more or less, but was achieved. Spain has nowadays an image of modern country, democratic country, etc. But the problem was with that guy. Do you know that guy? A clue is Sir. It's Sir Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, you know, is the father, the inventor of the World Wide Web. Yeah, and while we were projecting our image to the world was changing completely. You know, so we achieved our goal, but the world was changing. So it's necessary to think about that. Now, 2008, and we have 3 guys. Let's see. Do you recognize? Mm-hmm. Yeah? This one. And this one? Name, please, name. John
McCain.
John McCain, okay. So the guy with the budget, the small budget, was Obama. Mm-hmm. First of all in democratic election, after that in general election. The reason that Obama, not the reason, but one of the reasons that Obama win the election, both elections, was the use that he did of social networks. He was the same that Roosevelt in the 30s with the radio, the same that Kennedy in the 60s with television. Obama was the Roosevelt and the Kennedy, but with social media. Was the first, the team of Obama, of course, not Obama, but the team of Obama was the first to take advantage of the possibilities of the new era, yeah, of the previous guy that has started. So, well, 2003, this is the logo of Canal No, it's public television, and television shut down. It's because of political reasons, it's because economical reasons, because of political conflict, because the power and the news are very well connected, and finally the population has not a connection with their television, problem, economic crisis, and the television shut down. So we are in a region with 5 million inhabitants, and we don't have a way to recognize ourselves. So nowadays, we are in a scenario that the most important and most influent media 10 years ago don't exist or were insignificant. So it's like explosion. Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. 10 years, they are the more influent, the more important. 10 years ago, that don't exist. So we are like pioneers, like we are discovering, well, the possibilities of telling stories by that media. In this way, we are a group of guys. This is the president of actors, scriptwriters, University of Valencia. This is me. This is University of Valencia as well. Technical producers. It's different representatives of the most important associations in Valencia join. Historically, we were not be all friends, but in which situation we joined together in order to build the new television. And the role for us, for the universities, is to manage to deal with the conflicts. We have the authority because we don't have direct interest in the new television. We have indirect interest because as we work in communication, we need that our students have a job, have a way to develop their skills, but we have the authority to intermediate with the conflicts. And right now we have a political compromise to reopen television, and we are in a moment that a law is going to be passed the parliament in the next week, most likely. So it's not the contest is much better than 3 years ago. So we're working not in start a radio and television. We are working in start a Transmedia platform. Okay, so we are thinking in creating the television for the next 10, 20 years. So we figure out the shutdown as a challenge, as an opportunity to create something that if you have an ongoing television, it's impossible to do. To change the structure, to change the way to take decisions, and we have that opportunity. And we decide 5 lines. Transmedia content through different media is not just to create formats, it's just to define a news strategy and develop by social media, radio, television, apps, all together. Strategic actions, for us it's very important to reinforce the language, the Valencian Catalan language and the cultural topics to know our territories, to recognize ourselves. And the issue is that the different media, point 3, different media, all that content doesn't represent necessarily an extra cost. The key is to mix internal and external communication. For example, when you, for example, I've been working as a producer for 15 years, Yeah, and when you go to shoot a program in the street, normally you go previously the day before just to take some photos, just to prepare the lights, or to speak about the restaurant or the, well, it's just for social media. The content that you can create is to do the same travel and just to record a short video, 3 photos, and tomorrow in 24 hours you have live content. It's just the internal communication that we have been done, but we don't have published right now. It's just to share. It's not extra cost. The only extra cost is to have the communication manager. We need a person, people who has the power to decide what things are useful to share and what not. But this kind of work has been done for years, okay? But we need now to manage what part of the internal communication we can become external communication. Do you understand? So, Transmedia, news, sports, kids, language, cultural topics, internal and external, and we now have the how to manage active users. The thing with active users is that it's not true. Most of the people are traditional viewers, but at the same time we have users, we have active users, and the challenge is how to manage storytelling for combining the 2 types of consume of television that are in the same person many times. It depends on the day, it depends on your daily routine that you become a passive viewer or an active user. And the way to do that is gamification. We are preparing to introduce video gamers in the technical staff in order to use the playing techniques to create the television content more amazing, more engaging. Well, and lastly, the role of universities is research and development. A public television, a public media has to do social and educational benefits, and the way to explore nowadays these benefits are properly the university and research centers, and in this way we are well prepared to offer all our knowledge in order to improve the possibilities of the new platform. So there are the 5 strategies that we are figuring out. It's very hard, it's very difficult to start over, but we are going to do our best just to try, because it's necessary for a society and a community to recognize, to have a media to recognize ourselves. Thank you.
The first question is about the TV, not the TV, the Transmedia new platform. You explained that you were still creating or thinking about it. If I didn't understand what you didn't say, and I'm not sure because I'm not expert on that topic at all, there's something I'm curious about, and it is that, well, you said that you had several elements, very important. One was strategy, and you said that you were thinking about a collaborative platform. And when you said collaborative, I understood in my mind that you meant there would be, somehow you were thinking about people choosing or showing their interest in what you would be doing afterwards. And then you said another one of the elements was a political strategy, focusing on language and kind of service to the country. Now let's imagine sometime in the near future, as you are very good experts and you have more experts at the university, you manage to do something very good. So you are interesting enough, and then the political bodies or powers are interested in you, or maybe an enterprise, So you manage to be public, to become public. But then if you are collaborative, and the public, those people who will be asked what they want or how they want it to be, maybe are not on the line of social and educational products. What happens if then they show they're interested in those popular things we are used to on televisions nowadays, and that we are told that they are there because people are interested in them? How do you combine?
There are two questions. Very, very interesting, but very difficult to answer. First one is easy, is the easier, I think. Today, for example, in the Universitat Jaume I, we are developing a shooting project. We are trying to interview a lot of students, actors, professors, the most important people in the society from Castelló to know their opinion about the new public media. And we are designing a communication plan in order to have in the next months a lot of content online with a face-to-face activities as well, in order to incorporate all the proposals from citizens for the new television. This is key. Nowadays, if we don't build together that kind of projects, these projects are dead in the beginning. So we are trying to do that. It's difficult, but we are trying. It's a project that we start from Castelló, but in Universitat Alicante, University of Valencia, Universitat Politécnica, 5 public universities and 1 private, they are working. We are working together, and we are going to do the same. And I think it will be very nice to have 2,000, 3,000 of interviews, different people, well-known, anonymous people, in order that they speak about their television and their contents. So, second question. It's very difficult to answer, but the thing, the slogan is, we are going to create a thematic television about proximity. We are not interested to compete with national TVs, with private TVs. We are going to attend the content, local content of the villages, content of the districts, all this kind of content that anybody can offer in a public television. This content, with the collaboration of the university, I think we can be influent in order to focus the content on education programs. But education is not the same that board programs. We know educating is to know the traditional events. Educating is to know different sports, not football. Sports are different things. Collaborate, team is. We need to explore cinema, of course, museums. Museums are very funny. When we travel England, we know that museums can be very funny and very interesting. Here as well in Girona, we have a museum of cinema that I love it. And well, it's just to the kids working together, try to working together. Professionals, politicians is the most difficult part, you know, but we try, we do our best, and citizens. And right now, good news is political governors are a different profile than in the previous year, so maybe why not? We are going to try.